How to know if you're addicted to porn? Just like there are people who can enjoy drinking alcohol without becoming addicted, there are also people who watch porn without developing an addiction to it. So how do you know if you're addicted to porn? Well, I have created a simple test that you can take, and we are going to go through that test right now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper in order to keep track of your score. For every question you are answering yes to, you are going to add either 5 or 10 points to your score, depending on the question. But before we start, here's the always appreciated disclaimer.
This video is information only and it's not medical advice. I'm not a professional neuroscientist or an educated addiction expert. However, the base of this test is a modified model from what real addiction experts are using to assess an addiction. I have taken some of their questions and modified them to porn addiction in a way that lines up with my understanding, but you should still take the results with a grain of salt.
Okay, are you ready for it? Here we go. Question number 1. Have you escalated and started watching more extreme stuff in order to get the same arousal? If you answer no to this, you get 0 points. If you answered yes, you get 5 points. Question number 2. Have you many times tried to control your use, either cut down or quit entirely, but you always ended up being unsuccessful in your attempt? If you answered yes to this, add another 10 points to your total score. So just to make this clear, if you answered yes to the first question and yes to this one, you now have a score of 15. If you answered no, then don't add any points. And I'm going to explain what the points mean in the end, so stay with me here. Question number 3. Do you experience strong cravings to watch porn when going for some time without it? If you answered yes, add another 5 points to your total score. If no, don't add any. Question number 4. Have you used porn in locations or in ways that could result in immediate harm? If you answered yes to this, add another 10. If no, don't add anything. Question number 5. Are you having a low physical response in your body when being intimate with a real person? You are having, for example, weak erections with a real-life person or low libido, but you can still get a solid erection to porn. If the answer is no, or if you don't know, or if you haven't been sexually active, put 0 points here. If your answer is yes, add another 5 points to your total score. Question number 6. Have you noticed negative consequences from your porn use, yet you have continued to use porn? If you answered yes, then add another 10 points. If no, don't add any. Question number 7. Do you notice compulsion to use? If yes, add another 5 points. If not, don't add anything. Question number 8. Do you experience withdrawal symptoms when you go for a while without using it? And do you sometimes use just to get rid of those unpleasant feelings? And withdrawal symptoms could, for example, be irritability, anxiety, feelings of being empty, insomnia, tremors. If you answered yes, add another 10 points to your total score. If no, don't add anything. Question number 9. Have you ever skipped important social gatherings just so you can be at home and watch porn? If yes, add another 5 points. If not, don't add anything. Question number 10. Have you compromised major obligations in your family life or neglected something very important at work or at your school due to porn? If yes, add another 10 points. If no, don't add anything. Alright, so those were the questions. And just to make this clear, if you were to answer yes to every question, you would get a max score of 75. But let's hope you didn't score that high. Okay, so here are the results. If you scored between 0 and 10, you could be addicted, but the probability is very low. If you are, it's certainly a very mild addiction. Between 10 and 25, there are some red flags of you being about to develop a porn addiction, or you may already have a mild addiction. However, on this level, it's still not certain. Between 25 and 40, it looks like you have a moderate porn addiction. You have probably developed at least some degree of addiction-related brain changes. Between 40 and 60. With a score this high, it is highly likely that you indeed have developed addiction-related brain changes. Everything points to you having a real porn addiction, and your addiction is probably somewhere between moderate and severe. Over 60 points. You are probably very addicted. Although we can never say something with 100% certainty, everything here points to you having a severe porn addiction. Now, another disclaimer here. While this is unlikely, I want to point out that it is possible to score a high score and still not be a quote-unquote real addict. It could also be possible to score a low score and still be addicted. So you need to take the results with a grain of salt. Also, I don't want you to freak out if you got a score telling you that you are addicted. Keep in mind that in today's super stimulating world, almost everyone is addicted to something. Video games, social media, smartphones, and so on. And millions of men have at least some degree of porn addiction, so you're certainly not alone. Now, if you want to learn more about what these so-called addiction-related brain changes are, then I can put a link under the video to a blog post I've made where you can take a deeper dive into that. If you just want tools and tips on how to stop watching porn, then hey, check out all my other videos, as about 60% of the videos I've made contain helpful tips on exactly that. And lastly, if you feel that you need something really powerful, I mean something extremely powerful here to finally put an end to your porn addiction for good, then take a look at this video right here. As over there, I talk about an online course that has helped a lot of men quit for good. I have literally seen guys who have been addicted for decades quit in just a few days after signing up to that course. Just take a look right now.